friends, I'm just popping on because it's all going in Victoriamakes kitchen today, in the run up to Christmas of course. So I'm making a cranberry frangipane today, and I also want to make another frangipane and also a quiche so that I can get them frozen in time for Christmas and then pull them out when I know the guests are coming, etc. So it's just a case of getting ahead of time and baking things in batches and then freezing them so that we're a little bit more prepared over Christmas time. So I thought I'd bring you along and show you how I make it. So I hope you'll enjoy this video. So let's get on now with the first recipe. So the first one is a Cranberry-Almond frangipane, and what I do is buy fresh cranberries, make them up into a jam with sugar, bubble them up, and then I'll bake the pastry blind in the oven for about 20 minutes, making sure that it's nice and semi-cooked. And what I mean by that is roughly about 3/4 cooked. I will bake it blind and I'll show you how I do that shortly. Then I'll bring it out of the oven and then pop the cranberry jam in, which I'll show you how I make that as well. And then we'll do the frangipane on the top and then scatter some flaked almonds as well. Hopefully, if I've still got some in the cupboard, because I've not absolutely checked yet. And then we're just going to do a simple quiche with lots of eggs in, and not sure what the filling is at the moment. So I'll let you know when I look in the fridge. I've got lots of cheese. I'll just see if it's going to probably be something like red onions, or I might do some peppers in there as well, or a few mushrooms. Okay, so I hope you enjoy this video. So I've got 3 various sizes of flan dishes that I use. This one's a large one. This is a very old one. They're really, really useful, and they are pot ones. This one is a nice one. It's got the recipes for Dauphinoise potatoes on them, Dauphinoise potatoes on them, which is nice. And this one I bought because this had a recipe and it says strawberry marshmallow pie. Not actually done that yet, so that might be a nice video, mightn't it? Near in the summertime. So yeah, let me know if you fancy seeing those. I can do those on another video. So we need to get the pastry ready, and I, generally speaking, not always, but generally speaking, especially at this time of the year, buy ready-made pastry. All the celebrity chefs do, so if they can, I will. And it's much easier. It comes up ready rolled. You can actually buy it in the block format and roll it out to the size of your choice. Now, you do generally get a lot more for your money that way. These, I've just bought these, and these are ready rolled already. They also come in a wrapper of greaseproof paper, and that is great because then you can use that on top of the pastry when you're putting your baking beans in. These are being frozen. This one seems to be a little bit cracking, drying out, which is a bit of a pain. So I'll use this on the smaller flan dish. Right, so this is the defrosted one. You've got to make sure you don't overcook it. Be very careful because it goes kind of very soft, and as you can see here, for example, it's split, so you know you've got to be very careful with it, because if you manipulate it too much it doesn't like it. So then we've got a few cracks here. Use these pieces to fill in, press it all down with your fingers, bring it back a bit here. The main thing is do not have any bits with any holes in it, because if you get with cracks in, all your filling will just go through the pastry underneath your pastry case, and it won't taste nice. It certainly won't look nice. And if you're serving it for a party, you want it right, don't you? Right, don't you? So just let it overhang, because you can trim it off later. Cover it all with your greaseproof. Pop it in and put your beans on. Straight in the oven now. Right, on to the third one. Line this again, and then we'll get them in the oven to bake. So your oven temperature is 180 fan oven, 200C, gas Mach 5. Bake it for about 10 to 15 minutes. Taking out, after 10 minutes I usually take the beans out and take the greaseproof paper off. Continue cooking it for about another 10 minutes. And it should be baked blind, and then you can put your filling in it. Right then, so onto our cranberries. So I've got fresh and dual white cranberries, all washed into a pan, and that is 250 grams of cranberries. Put that on very low. We need a little bit of moisture in there as well. But before that, I'm going to put some cinnamon in, and you put it in as much as you want. I'm going to put probably about a full teaspoon of cinnamon. I'm also going to put just that little bit, teaspoon of vanilla in there, and I'm also going to put some black treacle. Just remember that's going to go in as jam. Just probably about 1 heaped teaspoonful. Put it on the heat with a tiny little bit of water, probably about 2 tablespoons of water at this stage. I can also put a little bit more, but I don't want to put too much in, that's 2. And because it's going to be a jam and cranberries are very, very sharp, you need to be putting in roughly 200 grams of sugar. Brown sugar will be delicious, and just let that cook away until it bubbles up. It won't take too long. You want it to be nice and jammy consistency, because that's going to go into the base of the Frangipane. So we're going to get on with the sponge now for the Frangipane, which is ground almonds and butter and sugar and almond essence as well. So we'll leave it on there. Pastry's cooking nicely in the oven, and we'll get on to doing our Frangipane mixture. So now it's all sort of getting warm and syrupy. Keep stirring it. Right friends, so to do 2 of those bland dishes, I've put 400 grams of butter, 400 grams of sugar and 400 grams weighed of eggs. So I've put 400 grams of eggs. I've put the whole eggs on a scale and weighed them up as 400 grams. And then I've put 400 grams of mixed self-raising flour and ground almonds. And I'm going to mix it all together. So I've put 100 grams of ground almonds and 300 grams of self-raising flour, and I've mixed it all together, and that will give you your almond flavour. Basically with sponge cakes, if you weigh it out and you have equal amounts of butter, sugar, flour and eggs, it will come out. Whatever the weight you need, make sure it's all the same. That's the secret to making a sponge. Mix it all together. You can put extra almond essence in as well if you wish, to make it really almondy. Just a dash. I've got so many different essences, from rose to orange to rum raisin, lavender, Madagascan vanilla, Valencia orange. Right, so pop some in, just taste it, so that you can taste the almond enough. So I'll leave that on one side now. Right, so we've put the cranberry jam in the bottom, and then we need to put our almond topping on the top. Making sure it's covered all the jam, spreading to the sides. Lovely. And then you can put just a few little cranberries on the top, and what will happen with those is they will pop as they cook, but they'll make a nice decoration on the top as well. And then put your slivers of flaked almonds all the way all over the top. And be very generous, because it really makes a delicious dessert. And now for the next one, I've decided I'm going to do a mincemeat one. So I'm just going to get a jar of mincemeat, put the whole jar of mincemeat in the bottom, get a nice good quality one. This is a matured mincemeat with a bit of brandy in it. Spread it all the way round, and then again cover the top with your lovely almond frangipane topping. In France they don't put flour in their frangipane. Sometimes I will do it that way and sometimes I'll do it this way. And then with this one, again, just scattering the ground almonds all on the top, all the way around the edge. And I'm just going to take the almond just out of the middle, so hopefully there'll be a little circle in the middle free, and they'll keep at the edges. Like a little wreath, and then in the middle I'm just going to put a little blob of the mincemeat and back into the oven now for about half an hour, keeping particular attention to the pastry, don't let it burn, get it on at 180 again, and you can always cover it in the last sort of 15 minutes of cooking. I generally cook it for about half an hour until the sponge has cooked. So those two are in the oven now. I'm going to check on those in about 20 minutes. Right, so for the quiche I'm going to go with a Christmas theme. I'm going to do courgettes and cheese and cherry tomatoes. So I'll pan fry those in a tiny little bit of garlic, a few herbs, and then add red tomatoes for a green and red themed quiche. Very, very Christmassy. So in the pan we're going to get a little bit of olive oil and some herbs. I always use extra virgin olive oil. I do believe it's the healthiest oil there is. So for a quiche of this size I usually have 8 or 9 eggs, a tiny little bit of milk, probably 100 ml of milk, double cream if you wish, salt and pepper to your taste, and then whatever you want to put in the quiche. As I say, I'm going to do courgette and tomato today. And lots of cheese. When I say lots of cheese, about 400 grams of cheese, so it's really rich. So grate your cheese in a bowl. Right, so we've got 8 eggs and about 100 ml of milk. You can use single or double cream if you wish. I put a lot of cheese in mine, so I don't think I need cream as well. Give it a really nice beating, and we've got near enough all our cheese. There's about 375 grams of cheese there. We need to pour now this salt and pepper in, lots of salt and pepper in it. I've used 1 courgette, and then we'll pour this into the base, put in the courgettes and tomatoes and cheese. Right then, so we've got our pre-baked flan, and what I normally do here is put a little bit of the cheese on the bottom, and that helps to protect the base from going a bit too soggy at the beginning of the cooking process. And then in with all the egg mixture, and then sprinkle all the cheese over, and that will bring the volume right up. Put that in first, then so we've got the egg in and all the cheese, and then we're going to put our browned courgettes in. Try and lay them on the top. I've cooked both sides, but what I do is I put the top side facing up, which is the least cooked, so that if it browns in the oven anymore, it won't brown too much. And I found a few peppers in the fridge as well, so I thought I could just pop a couple of peppers in as well. Put those around the middle, and then we'll put the tomatoes in between the courgettes. Just wash these. And we'll pop it into the oven, and this will take about 45 to 55 minutes to cook, and it's on 160 degrees, that one. So friends, I hope you're finding this quite useful. I think the main thing is to sort of bake lots of things, have a baking day or an afternoon, morning, etc., and get a lot of things done at the same time. So you may have seen, obviously I've done 3 pastries all together, savoury and sweet, getting them in the oven, and then we can get those frozen for another time. I hope you can get ahead and bake and make things ahead of time for Christmas, so it's not such a panic. I think the main thing that I've found over the years is to plan my menu and my days and what I need to eat and basically what I need to buy. I'm buying a lot of things in advance and freezing them and having the ingredients in so there's not a mad rush with the crowds in the last couple of days before Christmas, which really stresses me out. I just getting to the stage where I don't want that sort of stress anymore. So planning ahead. So if you're watching this and it's very, very close to Christmas, kind of think of that for next year, to try and plan, you know, what you've done, write things down, and next year try and maybe make them ahead of time, and it'll save you probably a lot of time and stress as well. Does it save time though? Well, yes it does, because for everything that you do, you've got to get lots of things out and all prepped, and you know, isn't it best just to do a few things at once and get that out of the way so you're freeing up time for another day? So I hope it's proving useful for you, and it's a little bit of a tip. Also, bulk buying and making things in bulk and freezing them and saving them often saves you money when you buy larger bags of everything as well. So, you know, we've got to kind of probably be mindful of that these days, haven't you, with the cost of everything. So I hope you have a lovely Christmas. So we have got a Christmas cranberry frangipane. We've also got a mincemeat and almond frangipane as well, and a courgette, tomato, and a little sprinkling of peppers, cheesy quiche as well to bring out. I also made a big batch of sausage rolls yesterday. I didn't film that, but I made 3 trays full of sausage rolls, and I did them all raw, prepare them all, and don't cook them, and just freeze them so that nearer Christmas, or when you've got a party for New Year, or over Christmas, etc., or over the year, you can just pull them out of the freezer, and it just means that you don't have to be doing that as well as everything else. So, you know, if you can make stuff ahead, it saves a lot of hassle on the day. Okay. Right friends, so we've got them all out of the oven, and we've got our mincemeat, lovely flan. I shall just trim off all the side and make them all very neat in a moment. I wanted to show them you just from the oven. And then we have our lovely cranberry frangipane as well, and then courgette, cheese and tomato flan.